start with.
Okay. So now Cathrine and Nicholas Wadler from Hampton, Virginia. We got married on March 5th of 2011. We had kind of a snowflake theme going on. So, yeah.
Well, I guess first thing would be why do we choose to hire a wedding planner? And for us, it mainly came down to timing, and we both work two very busy jobs, and between everything else, the time it was going to take to try and find vendors and everything else, we just really didn't have the time, and so a wedding planner was decided to be the best option to help us getting to our end goal.
Clarence, you wanted one.
Yes, it was my decision.
And you also found the Just For You wedding planning, but I'm not sure how.
It was mainly through online. I did hear one person talk about them, but just been searching through Yellow Pages through the online, found them. Lequisha called me right back, which I found very impressive compared to a lot of other wedding planners out there who tend to take their sweet time to get back to you. She was always very prompt in getting back initially, which really made me choose Lequisha. So
that, and when we met with her personality just kind of was real great and seemed to be really into what she was doing, and that made us want to kind of choose her. So
yeah, we kind of I know she had a couple different packages and options. We chose to use her for basically from the beginning planning all the way through to the coordination on the day of the ceremony. And I gotta say that we weren't really sure if we would need someone to help us with planning every detail all the way through, but it was definitely a very wise decision to have the help from start all the way to finish.
And from what I've heard from a lot of people, her prices were very reasonable, and we were definitely thrilled with what we got for the price. And she paid for herself probably a few times over with the deals that she was able to find for us. So that definitely made things.
She was, well, as I said, with deals, we were able to find a lot of great vendors that we normally would not have looked at. Specifically, with our reception location, we probably wouldn't have looked at the location that we looked at the end if, based on price and everything else, but she was able to work for us and get us really good deals all over the place and saved us a lot of money.
And I think that because we went through her, she got us almost half off of the reception venue price, the per person ticket, so without that we wouldn't have even looked at that place, and I think that definitely made our wedding, like the reception, just totally more upscale than what we thought we could afford.
Most definitely. When it comes, Lequisha, we've always had a good time dealing with her, and I know after talking to my parents and friends, everyone else, they seem to definitely notice that she's very detail-oriented. And she's definitely sometimes a little over top on details, but in the end all, it's those extra details that really make the difference of making sure everybody knows where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be, and making sure we don't miss some minor details in contracts that could hurt us in the long run.
Yeah. I think sometimes I got a little overwhelmed by all of the details, but I think that she was really good at catching us back up, and we'd get a few emails a day and be at work and not be able to respond right away, and trying to go back. She was really patient with us, trying to make sure that we didn't have any issues or that we weren't missing something. So
she was definitely, always very, very understanding with schedules and timing and things like that, and understood that sometimes we couldn't get things back immediately, but definitely made sure that we stayed on track and that everything got in when it needed to be done.
I know. I think it made me I don't think that I was ever really worried about a whole lot of things during the planning process, just because it was already, I kind of knew that it was already taken care of. So I didn't have to start, I had a book about wedding planning, and one of my friends had given me stuff, and I had flipped through it and went, oh.
Yeah.
And then after we hired her, it was just kind of like, I'm not sure what's going on exactly, but Lequisha knows, so that's good. But
I would say, to say that I wasn't stressed at all would kind of be lying a little bit, but it was mainly just, stressed over little details, but I knew that, nothing was going to fall through the cracks because Lequisha was there, and it was just more of me being me. So overall, I gotta say, there's a lot of different opinions people have given us about having wedding planners or no wedding planners and doing it on your own, and And I gotta say, no matter what it costs, it's definitely worth getting a wedding planner because it takes a whole lot of burden off of you, and especially the day of. It takes a lot of burden off of making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, and that all the vendors are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it just lets you enjoy your special day.
Well, I mean, I think part of it has to do with the fact, that I know that there's people in my family that wanted to have a bigger role in wedding planning, but since a lot of my family lives out of state, they weren't really able to do that. And so I think that's where it really helped, was that since we didn't have a very strong support system right in the area, that it definitely was helpful to have the extra hand that kind of was keeping an eye on things for us.
And it gives you it can come down to with a lot of family and friends. There can be a lot of different ideas being thrown at you, but even though you may say it's your day, all the different opinions get to you, but having a wedding planner as your main advocate, it makes it a lot easier to just say, well, this is what we're going to do, and that she makes it happen. You don't really have to deal with 20 different people trying to organize the whole wedding.
I don't know, I was kind of, when I first looked at all the different services that Lequisha offered to assist with, I mean, her list was, well, I think I already said when I saw a wedding planning list in general, I just kind of went, whoa. But definitely I was a little bit, I don't know, I thought it was kind of strange that she would be helping out with as many things as she was. But in the end, it came out very helpful, and I think that there's a large misconception about what wedding planners do and what services they can provide or do provide in general. I'm still not sure if all wedding planners provide that many services, or if Lequisha just kind of goes over the top with that. Not that I'm complaining about all of the things that she definitely did for us, but
I mean, it would definitely be, I would definitely say that the more help that the wedding planner, especially Lequisha, is willing to give, although we didn't take advantage of everything, it's definitely in the long run very, very helpful, because even though it may seem like, too many details to get involved with, having a third party and someone else sort of keep track and keep tabs on everything really helps. And sometimes, even though you may think that you have all the time in the world to get some of the little things done that you want to do personally, sometimes you just don't have time to put the amount of detail and effort that's required into every aspect of it.
Yeah.
So
I think one thing that was really important when we chose Lequisha, and just in general for choosing a wedding planner, is know what's in your budget, knowing what how the connections that the wedding planner has, knowing what kind of things they're willing to offer, and kind of knowing how much they're going to work with you. I know that I probably wasn't the most easy person to work with at the beginning, because I'm kind of I don't like giving responsibility to other people, so I kind of pushed her aside a few times, but eventually learned that she was there to be on my side, and that ultimately was really good for me to learn.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, we talked about budget. Not only being, be honest with yourself, but, really be honest with your wedding planner on exactly what your budget is, all the way down to the, smallest budget to the biggest budget, and just be honest with exactly what you want, and, obviously say, what you can afford. And the more honest you are with the wedding planner, I mean, really, the better it turns out in the end, and they're able to help you and find, better deals and stuff like that, so.
And I think also not just with the budget, but with the design. I didn't come into my wedding planning with a full-blown idea of what I wanted, but as we kind of developed a design, Lequisha was very much into helping us find things that would satisfy that design. Even, getting snowflakes that hung from the ceiling from a hair place that she stopped by, that she noticed something. She's like, she really remembered that was something that was important to us, and was able to kind of get us another added touch. So I think that she not only helped us create the vision, but really bring it out tremendously, and more so than I had thought was even possible.
Well, I mean, the big thing is that, there's a lot of wedding planners out there that we talk to, and they all say they're there to help you, but it's kind of, funny when, you start mentioning certain budgets, whether it's big or small, and, especially towards the smaller end, that they kind of look at you and go, okay, and kind of brush you off. But, Lequisha was there for no matter what it was, no matter what the budget was, she said she's very detail oriented. And I mean, even though it can get overwhelming sometimes, it was those little details that helped make sure that nothing fell through the cracks. It really made our special day that much easier and that much more memorable and enjoyable. So
I think in general, I would very much recommend Lequisha to somebody else going through a wedding planning process. Unless there's somebody that is also very much a control person and not willing to, let others help, but because Lequisha is there to help.
Yeah.
So I think for us, she ended up being a very good fit. So.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that, if you seem to think that Lequisha's style and personality meshes well with you, but you're not sure about the control aspect of things, let go. That's the biggest thing I could say, is just kind of let go of the reins, keep details down, and the biggest thing, remember, is that she will work for you and do the best job possible for you. And you can really tell that it is, her passion and love is planning weddings. So I just say it's a very memorable experience and made the day absolutely wonderful and special. So